Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about rate and unit rate. So make sure you have your notes and you follow along and you write down everything that I write on my notes should be on your notes as well. So we're going to start by watching this video. If you're doing this virtually, then the video will be posted on It's Learning. So we're going to skip through it now. You should watch the video before the next slide. Okay, so let's talk about what a rate is. So we learned what ratios were. Now let's talk about rates. So a rate is a comparison of two quantities. So two different things or two different attributes. So you are comparing two different attributes. A ratio, like we talked about on Friday, was comparing the same thing. A rate, for example, for example, here I have 15 characters and 5 seconds. Characters and seconds are two different attributes. A ratio would be characters to characters or seconds to seconds. Okay, a unit rate, when simplified, has a denominator of 1. So that's your keyword. The word unit means 1. Just think about it. Whenever they're asking for the unit rate, they're asking you for 1 as a denominator. So in this case, I have 15 characters for 5 seconds. So I want to know how many characters for 1 second. The 1 will always be the denominator when you're being asked for a unit rate. So here I have 4 examples, and I want you to tell me which one would be the unit rate question. So $12 for 3 pounds, 120 words in 2 minutes, oh my, 60 miles in 3 hours, or $7.50 per hour. That per hour means for each hour, for every hour. So this is $7 in 1 hour, 1 being the unit rate. So this would be my unit rate. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit more about unit rates. So to find the unit rate, we're going to follow these steps here. So 1, we're going to write it in a fraction form. Now I want you guys to always remember that. We're going to write it in fraction form. Then we're going to simplify to a denominator of 1 because we're looking for the unit. Unit means 1. My denominator has to be 1. And then we're going to divide. So some keywords that we can always associate with unit rates would be in, out of, for every, each, and per. Okay, let's go over some hints when finding unit rate. Whenever we're talking about time, it's the time unit will almost always be the denominator. When talking about money, the unit will almost always be the numerator. So time will be the bottom number, money will be the top number. So make sure you highlight or circle these hints because they're going to come very handy. So let's take it back to the video that you were supposed to watch before the lesson. Brady the Math Cat. So the first scenario that they gave us was $6 for 2 pounds of fish. So whenever we write it as a rate, we're going to write it as what they tell us. So we have $6 for 2 pounds of fish. Now labels are going to be very important whenever you're using rates and unit rates. You always write your labels. So here I have $6. The dollar sign implies money. And then I have my 2 pounds of fish. Now to find the unit rate, remember your denominator has to be a 1. So I want to know how much is it per pound. So how much does 1 pound cost? So I write my 1 pound. I need to now find a scale factor. Okay, so I have a 2 and I need to get to a 1. What do I have to do to the 2 to get to the 1? Well, I have to divide it by 2. And remember, what you do to the bottom, you must always do to the top. So if I divide it by 2 at the bottom, I divide by 2 at the top. Now 6 divided by 2, that gives you 3. So each pound is $3. Okay, let's do more examples. And always, always, always write your labels. So here, the rate is $50 for 5 lawns. So money's top. So $50 for 5 lawns. So you write your labels. Now I want to know my unit rate. So I want to know how much money is it per lawn. So 1 lawn. There. So if if 5 lawns cost $50, then how much is 1 lawn? Well, here's where I need to do or find my scale factor. I have a 5, I'm trying to get to a 1. What do I need to do to the 5 to get to the 1? Well, I'm going to divide it by 5. And what you do to the bottom, you must always do to the top. So now you go 50 divided by 5. Well, that gives you $10, which means that every lawn is $10. Okay, whenever you guys are doing your independent work, we want to see the labels and the scale factors. Alright, third example. 8 hours of gameplay in 4 days. Alright, so we're going to write our 8 hours and 4 days. My unit rate, I want to know how many hours and 1 day. So I'm going to write my label here for hours. Okay, so again, now I try to find my scale factor. I have a 4. I need to get to the 1, so I'm going to divide it by 4. Because 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. Now I do the same thing to the top. And 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. So every hour she plays, every day she plays 2 hours. Okay. We shall move on. Alright. Now, let's see. Samantha picked 45 oranges in 5 minutes. How many oranges did she pick per minute? Okay. Per minute unit rate. So 45 oranges in 5 minutes. So we have 45 oranges over 5 minutes. I want to know how many oranges did she pick per minute. So that's a 1. So, oh, I forgot to label. 1 minute. There you go. So 5 to get to the 1, I divide by 5. I do the same thing to the top, which gives me 45 divided by 5 gives me 9 oranges. So Samantha's able to pick 9 oranges per minute. So I'm going to write that in. 9 oranges per minute. Next example. The Australian dragonfly can travel 18 miles in 30 minutes. How far can it travel in 1 minute? Okay, miles, minutes. These are my labels. So 18 miles in 30 minutes. I want to know how far it can travel in 1 minute. I keep the minutes together and the miles together. Okay, so I have a 30. I'm trying to get to a 1. Okay, So 30 to get to the 1, I need to divide it by 30. Now 18 divided by 30. So I'm going to go to the side and divide that. 18 divided by 30. So 18 divided by 30. So obviously 30 does not go into 18, so I'm going to add a decimal, add a 0. 30 goes into 186 times. So my answer is 6/10. So a dragonfly can travel 6/10 of a mile per minute, or in 1 minute. Okay, last example. The table below shows miles traveled on various gallons of gasoline. Based on this information, what is the rate in miles per gallon? Okay, so I'm just going to take this example. You can actually use whichever one you want, but I'm just going to take the first one. So 81 miles in 3 gallons. We want to know the rate per gallon. That means 1 gallon. Alright, so now you find your scale factor. 3 to 1. Well, you're going to divide that by 3. What you do to the bottom, you must always do to the top. So now you're going to do 81 divided by 3. You're most likely you'll come to the side and divide it. 3 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Remainder of 2, bring down the 1. 3 times 21 equals, 3 goes into 21 7 times. And that's 0. So the answer would be 27 miles. So whenever you're given a table, you are given different rates. So if we would have done the same thing but used the 30, 135, and 5, we would have still gotten 27 miles, because each gallon holds up 27 miles. So it's the same thing, it's just using different numbers. Okay, we are done with today's lesson, so go ahead and now start on your homework or your independent practice.